both batches attend today's lecture, and that one is disinfection. So in last lecture, we studied the sterilization. So what is the definition of sterilization? The process by which an article, surface or medium is freed from all type of microorganisms, either they are in spore form or vegetative form. Killing of all type of organism is sterilization. You don't think this one is useful, this one is unuseful, or this one is infected, non-infected, infectious, non-infectious, whatever. You don't think. Whenever any organism, microorganism is there, that should be killed is a sterilization. The next definition is disinfection. So in disinfection, we are going to kill pathogenic organism only. Those bacteria which are able to cause disease. The killing of such type of pathogenic organism is called as a disinfection. Generally, sterilization is achieved by using physical agents. Last time we already studied the heat, filters, then radiation. So all this comes under the sterilization. In disinfection, we are using chemical agents. So generally, disinfection are done with by using chemical agents. So we'll see one by one the chemical agents. So before any chemical we are choosing as a disinfecting agent, few characteristics we are going to take into the consideration, or we are going to study. The most important characteristic is that chemical should have broad spectrum activity. Broad spectrum means it is active against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and spore. The next one is that chemical have high penetration power. So easily it penetrate all type of microorganisms. Then it should be soluble in water. That chemical which we are choosing, it should be soluble in water. Then the next property we are studying, that chemical should be easily available. Suppose a chemical that is not available easily in Latur, or locally it is not available, it is only available in metro cities or in other countries. Again, that such type of chemical is useful for we people. So locally availability is again important. Then the cost of the chemical which we are using as a disinfectant should be low cost. So then if it is absorbed into the circulation during the use, if it is absorbed into the circulation, it will not show any hazardous effect to the human being or animals. Or if it is inhaled during the use, it will not show any toxic effect to the human beings. So all these properties generally we are taking into the consideration whenever we are choosing a chemical as a disinfecting agent. Then how it acts, mode of action. The most important is the mode of action, how it kills the organism. Here the first is protein coagulation. That chemical, generally protein coagulation occurs. Next is disruption of cell membrane. Damage of cell membrane or cell wall generally occurs. Then removal of sulfhydryl group. This SH group, generally sulfhydryl group is present into the protein, so that removal of the sulfhydryl group also kills the organism. Substrate competition. So substrate competition means, so you may also study it in the biochemistry first year. So for the functioning of any enzyme, a substrate is required, essential substrate is required. So you choose such a chemical which is like a substrate and which mislead the enzyme. So it become a functional to non-functional. So that is called as a substrate competition. And the last and the most important is acts on DNA or RNA. So it directly acts onto the genetic material, impairing between the nucleated waste occurs and death of organism occur. So that is acts on DNA, RNA. So all these points, all these 5 points comes under the mode of action, how it kills the organism. Then few precautions also we have to take whenever we are handling the disinfection. The first precaution is whenever we are using a disinfecting agent, so that area, so suppose a table is there, so we have to apply all over the surface. Suppose half portion you apply and half remain as it is, again it may contaminated by the remaining. So you decide which type of area we are going to disinfect it, or which article you are going to disinfect. and whole surface. That chemical should come into the contact with all surface. The next one is the proper concentration or suggested concentration. Suppose alcohol we are using 70%, always we have to use 70% alcohol as a disinfecting agent. If instead of that, if you are using the 40%, if you are diluting, again it is unuseful. So proper recommended percentage of that chemical we have to use. The next one is time. If alcohol kills the organism within 10 to 15 minutes, means we have to keep for 10 to 15 minutes. Means suggested time also we have to follow. So concentration and time, both are very important points whenever we are using any chemical as a disinfectant. Now we'll start the common disinfecting agents which we are frequently using in hospital side. Well known as alcohol. From very ancient time, we are using the alcohol. Ethanol or isopropyl alcohol frequently used. Either ethanol we are using or isopropyl alcohol we are using. So you may also aware about it. Before any cutaneous injection, we are disinfecting the skin with help of the spirit swab. Spirit is nothing but ethanol. So with help of that, we are disinfecting the skin. Or this isopropyl alcohol generally we are using for thermometers. The thermometers, clinical thermometers which we are frequently using to check the fever, so they are sterilized with help of the isopropyl alcohol. No action on spore. They are only bactericidal in nature. Spore remain as it is. Concentration recommended is 60 to 90% in water, but in an average we are using 70%. 70% alcohol is recommended as a skin disinfectant. Then alcohol kills by protein denaturation. The mode of action here is protein denaturation. It kills by protein denaturation, and also alcohol is having ability to dissolve lipids. So lipids are present in the cell wall. So they dissolve in alcohol. The pores are produced. PORE pores are produced. And here the death of this bacteria generally occurs. So it is a bactericidal in nature. The use disinfection of clinical thermometer, disinfection of skin when puncture. So before when puncture, or one more type of alcohol we are using, and that one is methanol. Instead of ethanol and isopropyl alcohol, one more is there, and that is methanol. Methanol is used to kill fungal spore. A laboratory or incubators which are infected by the spores of fungi. So these spores are killed by exposing to the methanol vapors. A pad impregnated in methanol we are keeping inside the laboratory or inside the cabinet or inside that incubator, and vapor comes, and after exposing to the vapor, the killing of the spores occur. So this methanol is also we are using as a disinfecting agent to kill the fungal spore. This is about the alcohol. Now the next one is aldehydes. Aldehydes acts on amino groups in protein molecule. So they act on amino groups in protein molecule. They are having broad spectrum activity. They are able to kill all type of organisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and spores. So that's why they are having broad spectrum activity. Two type of aldehydes we are using, formaldehyde and glutaldehyde. They are frequently used. Formaldehyde is bactericidal, sporicidal, and has a lethal effect on viruses, means having broad spectrum activity. Another one is glutaldehyde. So glutaldehyde is effective against tubercle bacilli, fungi, and viruses. This formaldehyde in liquid form, we are calling it as a formalin. So where we are using formalin? For preservation of anatomical specimens. For preservation of anatomical specimen, this formalin is used. Or to kill the spores of Bacillus anthracis, which causes the disease anthrax, a zoonotic disease, very highly fatal disease. It was known as the anthrax. And to kill the spores of this anthrax, this formalin or formaldehyde always we are using. The next type of aldehyde is glutaldehyde. Glutaldehyde Commercially, it is available into the market by the name Sidex. And here, frequently we are using for disinfection of endoscope, then bronchoscope. So bronchoscope, endoscope, frequently we are using, and for the sterilization of this scope is always glutathione is recommended, or Sidex is recommended. The concentration is 2%. 2% glutathione is recommended. It is MCQ question. So how much concentration of glutathione is used for sterilization of endoscope? That is 2%. Because it will not show any effect onto the lenses of these scopes. Then the use, formaldehyde used here to preserve the anatomical specimen, destroying anthrax spores in hair and wounds. 10% formalin plus 0.% sodium tetraborate is used to sterilize metal instruments. And the glutathione used to treat corrugated rubber anesthetic tube, face mask, plastic endotracheal tube, metal instrument, and polythene tubing, and for sterilization of cystoscope and bronchoscope, endoscope. For all these scopes, this glutathione is used. So in this aldehyde, recently from last 2-3 years, a few other aldehydes are added. So this comes under the aldehydes, and that one is orthophthalate. And this orthophthalate is used to clean endoscope between patient, as it is a quick, effective, and safe. So between patient means, suppose we use that endoscope for one patient, and after 5 to 10 minutes, immediately another patient is waiting, we are using onto that. So for that time, at that time, in between patients, relation of in between patient of such type of endoscope, orthophthalate is recommended. Recently it is used. One more we are using, and that one is peracetic acid. So against MRSA, methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or vancomycin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. In short, we are calling it as a MRSA or VRSA. Then Enterococci and Clostridium difficile. So for killing these MRSA, VRSA, generally they are present into the hospital environment. They cause the secondary infection. And for killing such type of notorious organism, we recommended nowadays peracetic acid. And the last one from aldehyde, and that one is hypochlorous acid. So hypochlorous acid, it is active against biofilm and microorganisms within the biofilm. So what it contains? Sodium hypochlorite plus H2O2. Sodium hypochlorite plus hydrogen peroxide. It is a mixture of these two and called as a hypochlorous acid. And it is only recommended for organisms which are present inside the biofilms. Nowadays, the organisms produce the biofilms, particularly in the dental cases. Biofilms are produced and they resist to routine antibiotics. And for that, first we use this hypochlorous acid, and after that we use the routine antibiotic. Now, the next chemical agent we are using as a disinfecting agent is dyes. Two groups of dyes are used, aniline dyes and acridine dyes. Aniline dyes are brilliant green, malachite green, and crystal violet. Active against gram-positive bacteria. Active against gram-positive bacteria. No active against tubercle bacilli, and action with acid groups in the cell wall. So in cell wall, when we studied the structure of cell wall, this peptidoglycan is there. Peptidoglycan is consist with many strand of glycan, and one glycan strand is consist with N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. So it acts on N-acetylmuramic acid and it damages the cell wall, and because of that, the death of gram-positive organism generally occurs. Then the acridine dyes. Acridine dyes in use are orange in color, effective against gram-positive, then gram-negative bacteria. Important dyes are proflavin, acrylflavin, euflavin, and aminacrid. And they act on DNA. So directly they act on genetic material DNA. That's why the killing of all type of organisms generally occur, but more active against gram-positive as compared to gram-negative. So these are two types of dyes, aniline and acridine dyes. Now the next one is, next chemical we are using is the halogens. In halogen, iodine. So iodine in aqueous and alcoholic solution has been used widely as a skin disinfectant. So iodine is also having broad spectrum activity, active against all type of organism and moderately against the spores also. So actively bactericidal and moderate against spores. Nowadays we are using iodophores. Iodophores means iodine plus non-ionic or surface active agent. So mixture of iodine and non-ionic surface active agent, these are called as iodophores. They are more active against all type of organism, against spores also. Now one more type of iodine we are using, and the name of that iodine is tincture iodine. So tincture iodine, so what it contains? Iodine 2.5%, potassium iodide 2.5%, plus alcohol 90%. So during schools, so during the playing, if any scratch occurs onto the skin, so in that office, that iodine bottle is there. So that one is a tincture iodine. So because it is a disinfecting agent, that's why we are applying onto the skin. Then the next one is chlorine. So you are also aware, all of you are aware about the use of chlorine. So where we are using chlorine for the disinfection of water supply or swimming pools. Disinfection of water for drinking purpose or either from the swimming pools, chlorine is used. Then nowadays, vapors of chlorine. So the sodium hypochlorite vapors nowadays we are using to kill the organisms which are present in air. Then काय झालं अपग्रेड काय मध्ये रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम म्हणलं चालू आहे का चालू आहे ओके रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम काय म्हणजे असं करतो स्लाइड केलं राहिले का हो ठीक आहे the next one is phenols obtained by the distillation of coal tar. Phenols are powerful microbial substance. The mode of action is membrane damage, inactivation of oxidase and dehydrogenases, and protein precipitation. The phenolic derivative have been widely used as disinfection for various purposes in hospital, like the Lysol or Cresol. So first time, then use various combination of use in the controlled pyogenic cocaine, surgical and neonatal units in hospital, disinfections for feces, blood, pus, sputum. This phenol is recommended. Then Cresol, cleaning floors, 1% is recommended, or surgical instrument, glassware, furniture, and etc. Then chlorhexidine. Nowadays, chlorhexidine is available. It used as a skin antiseptic, bladder irrigant, and treatment of wounds and used in sport. Aqueous solutions are used in treatment of wounds. The next one is gases. So three different type of gases we are using for the sterilization, and that one is ethylene oxide. So this one is colorless, highly penetrating gas with sweet thermal smell, effective against all type of microorganisms, including viruses and spores. Broad spectrum activity, acts by inhibiting proteins and nucleic acids. Uses specially used for sterilizing heart lung machine, respirator, shutter, dental equipment, books and cloths. Also used to sterilize gases, this glass, metal, paper surface, plastic, oil, and some food and tobacco. The next gas is formaldehyde gas. Here, formaldehyde in gaseous. So widely employed for fumigation of operation theaters and other rooms. For that, 150 gram of potassium permanganate is mixed into 80 ml of formalin for 1000 cubic feet area. Next one is beta-propiolactone, used in fumigation for sterilization. 0.2% BPL is used. Has a rapid biological activity, only very effective against viruses. It is carcinogenic in nature. During handling, take precaution. Then the next one is surface active agents. metallic salt. Substances which reduce the surface tension is called as surface active agent. There are different types, cationic and anionic surface active agent. Cations are widely used in the form of quaternary ammonium compounds. Example is cetrimide and benzalkane chloride. Markedly bactericidal, active against gram-positive organism, no action on spores, tubercle, bacilli, viruses. Anionic agent, example coconut oil, means consists with saturated fatty acid against gram-negative bacilli or bacteria, and those which are consist with oleic acid, saturated fatty acid, unsaturated fatty acid, against gram-positive bacilli and Nigeria. The remaining is non-ionic and amphoteric surface active agent. These are also used against both type of organisms. The next one is metallic salt. The salts of silver, copper, or mercury are used as disinfectant. Acts by coagulating protein. Protein coagulation occurs or acts on SH group, sulfhydryl group. Marked bacteriostatic, weak bactericidal, and limited fungicidal activity. Then the testing of disinfectant, radiolocal test, Chick-Martin test, and in-use test. So these first two, radial and Chick-Martin, now not much more in use. The last one is in-use test. We are currently using in which various concentration of a particular chemical we are testing against the organism, and at what concentration organism kills we are recommending. Now latest one more technique recently comes, and that one is plasma sterilization. So plasma is known as a fourth stage of the matter. It consists of ion, electron, or neutral particles. Radio frequency energy is applied to create an electromagnetic field. In this field, hydrogen peroxide vapors are introduced which generate a state of plasma containing free radicals of hydrogen and oxygen. This state renders the article sterile by denaturating all microorganisms. Arthroscope, urethoscope, and all endoscope and all these, they are sterilized by plasma sterilization. Now the classification of this disinfection, and that is known as a Spalding classification. It is divided into three different types: critical atoms, semi-critical atoms, and non-critical atoms. Critical atom means those atoms which directly enters into the vein or vascular system, like the cardiac catheters. So they are highly infectious, or directly enters into the tissues, and chance of getting the infection, they comes under the critical atoms, and they are sterilized either with the aldehydes or plasma sterilization. The next one is semi-critical atoms, in which the atoms comes into contact with internal mucosa, like the endoscope, bronchoscope, urethoscope. So they are semi-critical atoms, and they are also sterilized with the help of the aldehydes like butaldehyde. And the non-critical atoms, the things which comes in contact with the patient's skin contact, they are called as a non-critical atoms, like the BP apparatus, thermometers, bed rail, then bedside racks. All these are the non-critical atoms, and they are sterilized with the help of the phenol or any routine disinfecting agents. So this is about the classification. So thank you.